Hey there guys, Icona here, and I've got a special treat for you today. Me and Grey Mist are going to be dual casting the game. Hopefully it actually works.
Hopefully it does.
Yeah, so there's Grey Mist, he is here. And Grey, do you want to go ahead and introduce the players we got today?
Absolutely. Well, up here spawning in the 12 o'clock position, we have the Teal Protoss, Mao's Mana. Mana had, I think his most recent notable thing that I know of, I think he won a TSL recently, but I know he also came second in the DreamHack Invitational in Sweden, so he had some really great, impressive play there. Now moving on down to the 9 o'clock position is also a Mao sports player, Morrow. Morrow most notable as a Terran player who switched over to Zerg. But he's been showing really great, impressive Zerg play recently, and he's becoming known for that.
I was actually just about to say that, Grey. I could have sworn the videos I've seen of Morrow before were actually Terran, but that would make sense on why he is Zerg all of a sudden.
You know, he switched to Zerg right after the. It wasn't because of the Reaper nerf, but he did switch right after he won IEM against Idra.
Oh.
And I think what he said in the interview is he felt that it was a little bit too easy, so he switched to Zerg.
Really?
It's kind of funny there.
Oh, that is. That's. I suppose, yeah. I suppose back then Terran was probably the easiest race to master, but then once they did so much nerf, you know, the Terrans, they definitely became a little bit more complicated, especially once the Zerg started figuring out, you know, the wonderful mutiling strategy against them.
Oh yeah, definitely need to have that backbone. Zerg was a little bit confused earlier on. Now, we do have Morrow. Actually, what I have noticed in his games is he loves pool gas openings. He almost exclusively does them. You never see him really hatch first. Because the one thing about the pool gas opening is it's extremely safe. Like, you really can't, nothing can really go wrong. It's not necessarily a good build every time, but really, there's nothing bad about it. You can, like, if you're Protoss and you know you're going to try to pylon block, the pool gas takes care of that. Really, it stops proxy pylon. It really stops any sort of early aggression by the Protoss because of how fast speedlings will be out on the field.
I agree with that.
I know you, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is pretty much the strategy I do almost every game. It's such a safe strategy. It just makes you feel good as a Zerg player.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you already see that the 4-lings are out and will actually just chase away the scouting probe. Usually you do have lots of trouble getting rid of that probe, but now look, Morrow's going to have absolutely no problem just killing that probe right there. We see Mana actually going for a, actually that's not a quick double cast, never mind, that's actually pretty standard. Mana going for kind of a standard build there, is walled in with his Gate and Cyber Core, getting a Sentry before his Stalker. A number of players are actually choosing to do this to help block Roach, early Roach aggression, and this sort of aggression we have happening right here. However, he'll actually, see, this is actually cool what Morrow's doing right here. He's actually attacking with those 3 Zerglings on that gateway, forcing the Zealot to want to break off, and right when that Zealot moves off, that Zergling's going to run inside. However, the Sentry is going to force these guys away now.
Exactly. Now, I do want to mention there's a Stargate going down here for Mana.
Ooh.
So, perhaps we might be seeing some Phoenix or maybe a Void Ray?
Yeah, no, this is post-patch, so I do believe Phoenixes will build with the quicker build time. So, I suspect that might be what he's doing. Maybe get a couple of Phoenix out and then get the Void Ray, because that play is actually so incredibly strong right now against Zerg. You get a couple of Phoenixes to lift up the anti-air, and the Void Ray just charges on the Queens, for example.
Yeah.
It's actually an incredibly powerful build.
It is, especially
especially
against Zerg right now. I've witnessed a lot firsthand, and it's just kind of terrifying.
Oh yeah, the GSL is really popularized that. And it's actually going to be a Void Ray first. We might actually see. I was about to say we might see a Void Ray expand, just simply using the Void Ray to pretty much stop all sort of roach aggression. But now that he's throwing down this 3rd gateway, I'm really thinking he's going to want to get aggressive with this. Probably making it look like he's going to expand. Yeah, that's actually... Nope, never mind. The Overlord's going to come in and spot that Stargate with the Void Ray animation.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think
absolutely no problem.
I think the Overlord did just see it. Now, what I'm going to be curious is how does Morrow react to this? It looks like he is just getting his lair down now. So are we gonna? And it looks like he does have 3 queens already, so he's definitely gonna be in plenty good shape if that Voider does decide to come harass.
And Morrow is very good about getting those 3 queens out every single game, and I really think that's what all Zerg players need to do when they're facing really any sort of opponent when they're unsure. Like a lot of Zerg players are having trouble against Protoss, and getting those 3 queens out definitely helps against any sort of things they can pull. Like fast stalkers, they help deal with any sort of fast air is really shut down by a lot of queens, and we see these 2 queens will go to work on this Void Ray. And the Void Ray actually gets charged off that, but you see it actually has to retreat like that.
Yeah, I was just noticing how I just looked over and saw the Void Ray was low on health, and I saw those 2 queens chasing him away. Now it looks like Mana's actually gonna maybe move in here, be a little aggressive, but I think these Zerglings and the queens are gonna be more than enough to hold this off. And maybe I don't know here. Actually, a couple good force fields could really turn this around. That's the
right. Well, what he might be trying to do with this push is he knows anti-air is on the way since he saw those that Stargate. So what he wants to do is he wants to force his opponent to spend all his larva defending this push and not on anti-air, which I think might be what's happening with this. And those are some great force fields right there.
Exactly. Oh, and I think you're completely right here. Although I think all these Voiders will go down now. It looks like this one will get away. Because as you saw, all those larvae just went down to Zerglings, and which could have been Hydralisks, which would have been so much more effective against this army. But because Morrow had no clue as to how much more was coming, he didn't want to put the Hydralisks in when he didn't know if he'd have the numbers to defend with.
Right, now one thing I would like to mention is getting that 3rd queen out allows you to do that transfuse like Morrow did. Notice he didn't actually lose any queens that battle, I don't think. That 3rd queen was able to build up just enough energy to transfuse the other one and keep it alive, which eventually I think it actually killed a Void Ray. Yeah, there's only 2 Void Rays on the field at this moment.
Yeah, I think this one's about ready to go down. No, looks like Mana will save that one. And
I think you are a little bit ahead or behind me, or something. What time do you have right now?
I have 9:56.
Alright, you're a couple of seconds ahead of me, actually, about 10 seconds ahead.
Oh, really?
So I'll speed up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, my computer's a little bit more laggy than yours, which is why we're using yours. So, yeah, I sped up just a little bit, and that'll be good. Now, it looks like Morrow's actually in some really bad trouble right here. However, he does have these Hydralisks, and Hydralisks are surprisingly effective at holding off gateway attacks. Like, just these 4 Hydralisks could probably actually kill this entire gateway army. They're just so effective if you can keep them
exactly. You just saw that Stalker go down instantly, and now more Zerglings and Hydras on the way, so this is more than enough to push Mana off. But I believe, Mana did actually not expand during that fight. I'm a little surprised at that, just throwing down his expansion now.
Yeah, there's the probe, having thrown down the expansion, because I'm still behind you. There we go. Apparently, Kaldor has also left the game out of sheer fury of that expansion going down right there.
Yeah, that
really hates the Protoss Imba.
Now it looks like a Robobay will be going down here in just a second. There it goes. Might be transitioning some Colossus play.
You know, he did force all those Hydralisks, so that's the next, pretty much the next major step is to counter the force. And Colossus would certainly be expected at this point. Maybe, actually, he doesn't really have that big of an economy right now. If we look at the worker count, they're actually almost dead even. Mana with a couple more, actually 1 more worker than Morrow has. But that's just because he's been forced to make so many units. And Mana actually has been good about forcing him to make units.
Yes, and that's...
But I'd be really interested to see what comes out of this Robobay.
I can only imagine it's going to be a Colossus because there are no roaches on the field at all right now. I don't even think there's a roach's den anywhere. No, there's not. So, essentially, Mortal would be absolutely worthless against all these Hydras.
Definitely, but it could be a bit of a risk to get this Robobay out, because getting the Colossus tech, which as we see he actually is doing, throwing down that Robobay,
right there.
There's a time when he's going to be really weak, because that's a lot of money and time you're going to spend when you can't really be aggressive to your opponent. Now this Void Ray will get almost shut down. Getting Hydralisk range right there, but I mean, Morrow's got to know that coming up soon is going to be the counter to Hydralisk, because like so many Protoss players will get the Colossus against Zerg when they're going Hydra. He's got to get something else on the field really, really quickly, because the Robobay is a little over halfway done, and even though he does need to get extended thermal lance to make it really useful, it's gonna really come with the hurt.
It will. Now I do see a Roach's Warren is going down, so maybe if he's like perfect on this, Colossus is just starting right now. I was gonna say if he's perfect, he might be able to push in and maybe end this game while there's no Colossus on the field. But I don't. I think that timing window may have just ended right there with the Colossus just starting. Instead, it looks like he's just gonna drone up.
Yeah, and they extended him less. Yeah, he really needs to get his economy back on track because he was forced to make all those units. He actually does have more workers than Mana does, but Morrow's in a seriously a bad position right now with this Colossus on the way, especially that whole Gateway army. Now, he does have enough units and he does have enough Spine Crawlers to defend any sort of push that'll come right now, but once that Colossus gets on the field, it's going to be a lot of trouble for Morrow to hold off this attack. Now we can see he actually is stockpiling quite a bit of money. Not sure what he's going to do with this. I have a feeling he's just going to crank roaches the second these larvae pop. Getting glial reconstitution. Throwing down a spire. Really wants to... Did he just scout that Colossus? Yeah, he did.
Oh, I was just...
Sorry.
Yeah, yes, that is. Yeah, contaminate. I was just going to say, I just saw that, and that's like the most perfect response I think you can do.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Delaying that... Protoss does not want to push until they get out 2 Colossus, because 1 Colossus on the field is a little bit too fragile. It's too expensive for too little, because Colossus work better, like exponentially better the more and more you get. Like 2 is way better than 1, and 3 is way better than 2. So he really delays his push by stopping that second Colossus.
Exactly. Now it looks like we're going to have a battle right in the middle here.
Yeah.
And the roaches have just popped.
Now... Morrow does have quite a nice... Oh, he had quite a nice concave, but he had to retreat because this is too much. You need to get those roaches out. Oh my gosh, he needs to get those hydras in the back.
He just GG's.
Yeah, it might have been a practice game, but I don't know. Well, looks like Mana's just going to go ahead and clean up the static force.
I guess so. Oh man, I would actually have loved to see that battle because I almost think Morrow could have actually held that off. If he had just sniped that Colossus real quick, he probably could have held this entire force off.
Maybe, but I think he realized that he was on equal base of a Protoss who was higher tech and bigger army than he was, so I think he figured that he was simply too far behind and needed to GG out. Because I have a feeling this was a practice game, because, you know, Mals versus Mals, and this didn't seem like tournament level play from either player.
Yeah, it seemed like they were both testing strategies out. Although I do want to mention though, had that battle happened, there were 10 roaches about to pop, and the roach speed was about to finish, so that could have completely changed the tide of that battle. But I guess we will never know.
And missile attacks too. Wow. Yeah, I guess so. Oh well. Morrow looks like he just doesn't want to deal with the Colossus because it's too big.
It is. It's pretty terrifying. I'll even zoom in on it here.
Anyway.
Oh, except that's actually the wrong button. Oh, I actually have no idea how to zoom. Oh well. I'll just zoom this way. Yeah. Just cute.
I'm zooming in, but you guys
no,
can't see.
We're working on my computer, and I'm just too much of a noob. Although I am zooming in on his laser beams right now, and they look really cool. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it for this game.
Yeah, definitely. Well, guys, we're gonna have more games, dual cast in the future. Now that we figured out how to do it, and just check out Collective StarCraft at collectivestarcraft.tk. It's our clan website. We do good work there. We help the children. Elderly are important as well. Feed the hungry. And also, if you have any replays you want to submit, just send them to collectivestarcraft@gmail.com, and one of our casters will pick it up, and then we'll cast it. So, thank you guys very much for watching, and any last words?
Not much, except this battle would have been so epic, but you know what? There's going to be more epic battles in the future, and that's all you can look forward to.
Oh, definitely. This is StarCraft
Exactly,
2.
And there will be many more games to come, I'm sure. Alrighty, guys. Well, I think that's going to be it for now. And yeah, just stay tuned. We'll have more for you. All right. Bye bye.